Coach, when you're comfortable, if you could start us off with some general comments about the game.
Yeah, congrats to Baylor and Scott's group. They've had a terrific year. And, thought that our guys came out really ready to play. I was incredibly impressed with our defensive effort in the first half. After playing 3 games in 3 days, I thought we were really locked in. I thought we did a really nice job of preparing, in a one-day situation. John Newman tonight, defensively, that's about as good as a guy can play defensively in a game. He was, I hate that we didn't win because I'll think about the way he played tonight for the rest of my coaching career, and I just wish we would have won the game because he was an absolute warrior. I'm proud of my team this week. They've been a resilient group all year, and they were really resilient this week, and we just weren't quite good enough in the second half. Couldn't kind of sustain it. The zone obviously gave us problems, and we spent a lot of time preparing for that going into the tournament, and we did as much as we could this morning, but we weren't as good as we needed to be. That's why you only get 56. Obviously, you look down, and they get 44 in the second half. We couldn't sustain our defense. I already mentioned that, and I thought 19 for 22 from the foul line, was a big differentiator in the game. They're 19 for 22, we're 7 for 9. And then I thought that the rebounding was the part that was probably the most frustrating to me because we pride ourselves on being a rebounding team. We get kicked on the board 39-27, and their 14 offensive rebounds were pretty damn significant. So if you want my real thoughts, but I'm really proud of my group. I love my group. We just went through the best basketball league for the first time in the country, and we had some great moments. We had some great moments here this week, and I'm just really disappointed we couldn't come out with a win.
Okay, please remember to give us your name and your affiliation as we get your wireless mic, and let's go on this third row here on the left.
Keegan Nixon with Bearcats Journal. Coach, you've talked about your team's ability to fight all year long and ability to respond. Say, down the road, you reach the goals that you want to reach as the coach of Cincinnati. How much will you look back on this group and this first season of the Big 12 as kind of setting the table for all that?
Yeah, I told them in the locker room that just the joy that I had coaching every day, and it's because of that. There's a lot of reasons, honestly, but the way this group fights, the way they respond, they're incredibly selfless. They just want to win. Of course, they all have individual aspirations, but they've all made sacrifices to try to win. And those are foundational things moving forward in our program that this group's really done. I'm proud of the way our group has approached it and fought all year, even if we've had some stretches or some moments we didn't play well.
Go in the front row here on the right.
Ryan Roberts, River from Cincy. Dan, you really came onto the scene the last 2 days for people that maybe didn't know your name. How can you use these past 3 performances to kind of springboard you into the off season as well as next season?
Not really looking at the off season right now. The season's not over yet. Cincinnati basketball plays basketball in March, so I'm gonna just keep going with my team and keep working every day and trying to get better at my skill set every day and working with the team and trying to get better as a team, and we'll go from there.
Okay, let's go in the front row right here on the left.
Coach Matthew Postins, Heartland College Sports. What is so difficult about shifting gears from playing teams that play hardcore man-to-man and going to a team like Baylor that plays that kind of zone in one day?
Just don't have any time to prepare, and that's what's difficult in conference tournament play or those preseason tournaments where you're playing day after day is you have no time to prepare, and Baylor's zone is also very unique. So like the way that we play a 2-3 zone, we occasionally play it or practice against ourselves, or like West Virginia, for example, plays 2-3, so we prepared for that the day before we played West Virginia. It's a different type of 2-3 zone than Baylor's, which is so extended in the tandem, and they protect the middle so well, and they make it hard to get it to the corners. So it's a different kind of zone, and we spent 45 minutes this morning showing film and walking some things in our ballroom. But, our guys have played heavy minutes. This is 3 days, 3 games in 3 days. There's only so much we can do, and that does make it difficult.
Let's go back to the right, in the back.
Coach, Greg and AP broadcast, and kind of picking up the tail end of your answer. When you talk about the issues of the second half, how much of it was attributable to being on the floor for the third time in 3 days?
Yeah, I don't know. I think when you get into that, you take something away from the other team. And Baylor played well in the second half. They did. They gave us a hard time defensively in the zone, especially, and then they scored the basketball. So for me to sit here and make an excuse about 3 games in 3 days, I don't want to take away from Scott and his group. They played well. The fact of the matter is, we were really damn good defensively in the first half, and we couldn't sustain it. And give Baylor some credit for that, but we couldn't sustain it, and that hurt us. And then it also hurt that we're doing it on that, not doing it down there, and then felt like there was a lid on it to start the second half. I actually thought our movement against the zone and the quality of shot was better to start the second half than it had been in the first half. We just couldn't make a basket. And then, I'll say it again, the offensive rebounding, our lack of it, because we pride ourselves in that. We only get 7 tonight. I mean, there was so many times I look down, we shoot the ball, and we got guys leaking back instead of pursuing offensive rebounds. So we tip one to keep it alive. Those are ones that when we're playing well, we get. We didn't get those, and then they get 14, and that's what we do. And when somebody does it better than us, it's going to be hard for us.
Let's go over here on the right on the front row.
Until late in the game, 3 of your starters had 3 points, and it was Dady had 3, and Seamus hadn't scored, and Aziz hadn't scored. I know you don't want to talk about the 3 games in 3 days, but was the fatigue or the combination of what Baylor was doing, and are you surprised that they were able to shut Seamus down 2 games in a row?
Yeah, I don't. I'm not here to make excuses for our team, for our players. I think everybody in our locker room would say that we put ourselves in position to go win a second half, and we didn't play well enough. Guys, everybody here knows playing 3 games in 3 days is difficult physically, okay? But we're not the type to make excuses, and we put ourselves in position to play 3 games in 3 days to get to the quarterfinals by how we did in the regular season. So I don't sit here. We have players that they want to be held accountable. They want the truth. We tell them the truth. We don't point fingers and make excuses. So we're not going to start doing that now. But heck yeah, guys are tired after 3 games in 3 days. But we're responsible for that. And Baylor gets the double bye because of the year that they had.
Let's go over here on the left.
Keaton Nixon of the Bearcats Journal. John, obviously your career's coming to a close here at Cincinnati. You've seen a lot of highlights. Coach talked about the joy that this group has brought him. How much of a highlight has this specific season been to you on your long basketball career?
It's been a lot of joy, man. Just coming from like last year and the place that I was in, just being with this team has been super refreshing for me. It's been the most fun I had playing basketball my whole career, and we're not done yet. It is coming to an end, but we're not done yet. So we still have more moments to create. But it's been a hell of a ride, and I'm looking forward to making more moments of these next couple weeks.
Let's go to the second row on the right.
Alex from Chatterbox Sports. Coach, I know the season's not over yet, but you guys would have had to win 5 games in 5 days to win the Big 12 tournament this year. Do you think in future years you'll emphasize finishing higher in the standings to avoid having to play so many games in so many days to win this Big 12 championship?
Our guys can't want to win more during the regular season. I don't think it's a lack of emphasis to try to. Our guys have, and I think the people that support our program and are around our program, you can't have a group of kids that want to win night in and night out more than this group of guys. So emphasis, yeah, they played their hearts out every night, the entire regular season, every night in conference play. We had some nights that we didn't play great, but their will and want to win is as high as a team can have. And if we continue to do that and continue to develop our program, we're going to have years we finish higher in the Big 12. That's happening. I promise that.
Go over here on the left on the second row.
Wes, Blair Kirkhoff of the Kansas City Star. Cincinnati's first visit to the Big 12 tournament. I just want to get your impressions of the event itself.
First class. Everything in the time that I've been associated with the Big 12 has been first class. I've been blown away. I told Brett that when I ran into him a couple days ago. This league does it first class, and this tournament's been no different. I grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina, going to the ACC tournament. Kind of fell in love with college basketball doing that, and I always thought that just had a special. That experience was special in Greensboro. It just kind of was the right place for the ACC tournament. You get that same sense that we kind of have that old school conference tournament feel right now with the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. I think our guys got to feel what March has been like traditionally and historically. This town's the right place. This is really neat. It brings me back to my childhood a little bit in a lot of ways.
Here, our last two questions. First one will be on the front row on the right.
Coach, as you prepare for the second part of the postseason over these next couple days, can you just walk us through what that looks like for you and your team?
Yeah, let's just say this, I don't, after coaching in this league, and I've been in other people's shoes, right? I've been in a mid-major program that had a chance to get an at-large. So I've been other places. After coaching in this league, I don't know how this league doesn't get a massive amount of bids. There's just nothing like this in college basketball right now. I think I have an NCAA tournament team. Good thing Joe Lenardi isn't on the NCAA tournament selection committee because he ain't been on our side. But I think I have an NCAA tournament team. I believe this league deserves 10 or 11 teams in the tournament, no doubt about it. We'll see. I think we'll learn a lot about what the selection committee values on Selection Sunday. But this team, the guys that Dan just said it. I mean, Cincinnati basketball. We play postseason basketball. We're going to be ready to play. This group's going to be ready to compete. And we got to get home, get rested. It's been a long 3 days. This group will be ready to compete wherever we're playing.
Okay, let's go on here on the second row.
Alex Ryan, Chatterbox Sports. Coach, you talked about earlier about the ACC tournament. You grew up going to it. Can you compare playing in the ACC tournament when you were in North Carolina to coaching in the Big 12 tournament now, and the similarities and differences it offers you as a player and now head coach?
It's hard to compare because it's such a different experience coaching and playing. I told our staff we hadn't slept the last 3 days as coaches because we've just been up all night trying to get ready for the last game. So the only thing I miss about playing versus coaching is that the players, they get to focus for an hour, and our guys did a great job, and then they get to go freaking lay down and sleep. So that's probably the biggest dang difference, but it's special. It's special in both circumstances. And, the swings of March, coaching and playing, are real. Losing hurts at a level that you can't describe. And winning is a thrill and a high that you can't describe, especially this time of year. And that's been the same for me, whether it was playing or coaching.
Okay, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.